Welcome back to MetalDisciple.com's The Week in Reviews. My name is George, and today I bring you reviews from Ascariasis, The Engineered, Foreboding Ether, and Ovid's Withering. A few weeks ago, I was contacted by Montreal-based label Subliminal Groove Records. They sent me some bands they are working, and I've got to say I was rather impressed with what I heard. The label specializes in modern progressive metal. I hear progressive, and I think Dream Theater. Let me tell you, this is nothing like Dream Theater. The Subliminal Groove bands combine the technical progressive style and sound quality with some crushingly brutal intensity. The first of these bands is Ascariasis from Burlington, Ontario, and their 5-song EP Ocean of Color. Listening to Ocean of Color, I am hard-pressed to find anything about it I don't like. The production sound quality is simply perfect. The music is bright and clear-sounding without giving up any punch in the low end. The music is melodic and technically astounding, but the powerful drums and vocals keep the songs from losing their brutal edge. The vocals are deep and harsh in a style that normally would bother me, but this is one of those rare occasions where the sound quality is so good that the vocal style actually works really well. The extreme harshness of the vocals contrasts quite nicely with the frantic and melodic nature of the music. Death metal has dipped its chocolate into progressive metal's peanut butter and combined to make something very tasty. Be sure to check these guys out. The Engineered are from St. Louis, Missouri, and Identities is their debut 5-track EP. These guys are another member of the Subliminal Groove Records roster. True to the label's progressive muse, The Engineered delivers 5 songs that serve the dual masters of technical proficiency and death metal aggression. Do you find yourself jonesing for some wicked crazy fretboard wizardry, but you don't want to give up the harsh vocals and crushing brutality of death metal? No problem. The Engineered are the architects of 5 songs which will satisfy both these cravings in one convenient package. Recording a technical and progressive album just wouldn't make much sense without a solid production sound to showcase all that such a band has to offer. So it comes as no surprise that the sound quality on Identities is up to the task. The clean and proggy parts come across as beautiful and relaxing, while the heavier crushing parts are tight, precise, and punchy. You won't find any complaints from me on production. If this is the direction that progressive metal is headed, I think I will be listening to a lot more prog in the future. Subliminal Groove Week continues with UK band Foreboding Ether and their debut 6-song EP Beyond Conjecture. Foreboding Ether is a progressive death metal band from the UK, and like the 2 previous Subliminal Groove bands this week, they certainly have their shit together. Musically speaking, anyway. These songs are fast and intense, tight and technical, and they left my head feeling like one of those punching speed bags after a Rocky Balboa training montage. Unlike the other Subliminal Groove bands I've reviewed this week, Foreboding Ether does not bother much with quiet, pretty little passages in between episodes of brutality. No, these guys keep the needle buried in the red most of the time. There are certainly melodic guitar moments which will whip right past you if you're not paying attention, but Foreboding Ether doesn't seem to need to stop and catch their breath. Speaking of breath, the vocals tend to range between a low to mid growl and that high-pitched sort of frantic screech which always reminds me of a million little monsters all fighting to devour the freshly spattered entrails of the hapless victim they just eviscerated with their tiny little claws. Beyond Conjecture is only 6 songs long, but at 28 minutes it comes pretty close to album length. In the grindcore world, this would almost be classified as a double album. I can move beyond conjecture and deal in cold hard facts. Foreboding Ether sounds damn good. Ovid's Withering is a progressive black metal band from Tampa, Florida, and The Cloud Gatherer is their 4-track EP. The Cloud Gatherer is the least like the other Subliminal Groove releases I mentioned this week, in that, yes, they lean in the black metal direction rather than death metal. They maintain a technical progressive element about the music, though black metal is often known for complex and melodic material, so the label progressive might be overlooked as being a given. Ovid's Withering is my favorite of the Subliminal Groove releases this week, and I'll tell you why. The 3 previous bands have all been very good, but they've also spawned from the death metal style. While I like death metal just as much as black metal, I haven't found myself lacking for any technical death metal. Many black metal bands continue to cling to the silly notion that in order to be true cult black metal, they have to have a raw, atmospheric, and lo-fi production. In other words, shitty. There are far too few black metal bands that seem willing to bring this style into the 21st century and avail themselves of current production values. I am gladly adding Ovid's Withering to the list of quality black metal bands willing to break new ground for the genre. The production is not the only thing that separates Ovid's Withering from other black metal bands. There are stylistic differences as well, but that can be chalked up to a little thing I like to call evolution. Did I mention I just really like the songs on the Cloud Gatherer? Sometimes it is just as simple as that. Make sure you don't miss out on these guys. That's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this week's playlist from Metal Disciples' YouTube channel, stick around and check out songs from each of today's bands.